Said some of DP's people work from home aren't going back till the end of the year.
Yeah, my son-in-law is one of them. Yeah, yeah. All right, Steve. We're good.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. The first thing up, Larry would like to say something about Bill Baldwin.
Yeah, unfortunately, as most of you have been informed, Bill Baldwin passed away a few weeks ago. Bill served the Park Department for about 20 years, and he was also the Park Board representative on the Plan Commission since September of 2017. Bill served on the Park Board diligently and volunteered yearly to help with programs and events. He was very passionate about our parks, the future of them. His passion to ensure parks continue to improve the communities they served could be found in how highly he spoke about the parks and what they offer, as well as the input he gave during the meetings. He will be dearly missed by family and friends along with the community as a whole. Bill's wife, Gretchen, had donated a tree to be planted in remembrance of Bill. The tree has been planted at McKinley Park. It's a little pine tree about this tall. We would like to send our sincere condolences to Bill's family at this time and thank him for his service to the community.
Thank you. Bill's gonna be a hard man to replace on the,
Yes.
well, not just Park Board, but anywhere he served. He was a good man. Okay, next thing up is the approval of the February minutes. Anybody remember what happened in February? If you've all had a chance to read through them, there's no changes or anything, I'd like a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the minutes for the February meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Unfinished business. Maintenance building.
Yeah, I just, the Central Park Master Plan, I kind of want to put these two together, the maintenance building and the pavilion construction. Just a quick update where we're at on that. We had talked about doing the maintenance facility at Fort Wayne and Indiana Street, and then the park offices would be above the pavilion. Since we got into the drawings and the drafts of these, our maintenance facility drawings, they're close to being completed, but we have made a change and incorporated the park offices into the maintenance garage. So they would be down on Indiana Street. With the change in the pavilion design, we won't have to extend the building 15 feet out to the water. We won't have a need for a second floor. This allows us to renovate and redesign the interior and the exterior of the building still, and it's much needed. It allows to open up the building more, so we get a better lake view inside as well as from the outside. Some of the reasonings for the change are the offices will be more accommodating for the public instead of having to go to the pavilion and park and taking an elevator or stairs to go upstairs. And our offices will be closer to the maintenance staff. Right now, we're so disconnected from the maintenance staff where we're at Lucerne Park. We just can't wait till the day till we can get back together and be close and be a close-knit family again, and our communication level will be much greater with the maintenance department. So by making these changes, the other thing, the combined two projects, it could save between $700,000 and $800,000 on the two combined projects. So that was one of the big ticket items why we're trying to go this way and incorporate the offices with the maintenance and not have to do that second story at the pavilion. So as soon as I should be getting the drawings, I'll have them by next meeting for the maintenance garage with the offices incorporated in that. I'll share them with you, but I just wanted to give you an update where we're at on that. So
Will that all be one story or two?
that'll all be one story with the option of having a second story set of offices as well.
Okay.
There's a lot of storage there upstairs, and we could potentially put offices up there, and I'll share that with you when we show the drawings. Yeah.
Any questions or comments? Okay, new business, 2021 proposed budgets.
So That time again. I guess we'll do the 211's the first one on here that's listed, so we'll do that first. This is the Parks Non-Reverting Budget, Fund 211 for activities. This budget has held the line. It's the exact same budget that we had last year. Supplies, total $11,250. Printing and advertising, another $7,100 for a total budget of $18,350. We increased this a little bit last year, and we feel it's sufficient for 2021. So if there's any questions on that. This is, of course, based on fees collected for programs, and it goes back into this budget, back into the fund. And I think when we checked, we had roughly $40,000 in that fund to draw from. So.
Any questions, comments? If not, I'd like a motion to accept this part of the budget.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 2011 part of the budget. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay, then we can go to the 204, which is the park operating budget. If you can go to your explanatory sheets, that's probably the best way to follow through this. Start with personal services, salary and wages. We were instructed to put a 1% increase in there. So that all reflects a 1% increase on salaries and wages. Insurance, we were instructed to do a 15% increase on insurance. And then the PERF, FICA, and unemployment numbers are figured based on the salaries and wages. So it's a 3.25% increase overall, or $623,900 for personal services. Other personal services, that's our cell phone allowance. There's currently 5 of us in the department that have that. This has been pretty steady over the past 3 or 4 years. So that makes our total personal services $1,701,550, which is a 1% increase. Any questions on that? Okay, we'll go to supplies. Our office supplies, we've held the line there, 0% increase, $3,200. Operating supplies, again, we've held the line, $101,800. Of course, this is our gasoline, all the supplies that we use to maintain and do our parks. It also includes the downtown flower beds and landscape, and then our recreational activities. 2,300 repairs and maintenance supplies. We have a 10% increase in here, and let's see, we held the line on the day-to-day operations at 78.2. The boardwalk, 5,000, held the line there. Wood fiber, 5,000. Replacement of the park signs. This is something that we would like to do. We still have the old telephone post with the old wooden signs on them that are looking pretty ratty. A lot of them are cracked and broke. We would like to replace those signs with kind of mimic our rural signs and put a nice new park name on each park. So that's why that's in there. Our office printer. Our current one is outdated. The networking and several mechanical breakdowns. Every time they come and work on it, they just tell us that the updates are ancient. It's going on 8 years old, and we would like to have that replaced. So, of course, we do all of our in-house printing. We don't outsource any of our printing for our brochures or anything, so we heavily use it. So that's where the 10% increase comes from, is the signs and the printer. For a total of $118,400. Other supplies, that's $300. That's for snowplow removal if we need to do meals. We haven't had to use that in the last 3 or 4 years, fortunately, so, but you never know, we're going to get it one of these years. So the total supplies is $223,700, 5% increase from 2020. Professional services, we have our recreational program, contracted stuff. We have the janitorial services at Pete Thorne in our offices now. Lake associations, Center Pike and Winona, $2,500 each. Tree service, shrubs, stuff at Kittyland, McKinley, and also for our cotton scale, that's at Center, the campgrounds, and municipal. Legal fees, geese removal, which we just did, and Sean, I'm sure will talk about that. IT support for the park cameras through Central Park. Inspections for the bucket truck, the hoist, and Glover Pavilion, those are required inspections. Water testing, the iStrike lightning detection system, which has been going off regularly here when we have storms, so it's working well. The Right Stuff is our payroll system. The Sophos antivirus is the antivirus that we have citywide, and that's our portion of it. Believe it or not, it's time for a master plan again. We're either going to look at a 5-year master plan or we're going to look at a 3-year master plan. And that kind of is based upon the, if we want to go for a land and water grant for the skate park, we would do a 5-year master plan, which is required by the DNR. If not, most park departments are going to a 3-year master plan because it's easier to update and stay current. So we'll look at that as the time comes. We'll have plenty of time for that. Then the maintenance agreement for the copier, and then, of course, some contractual instructors. So this is a 57% decrease in this category, which is $92,400. Communication and transportation, that's the same. Of course, that's our Google Storage, our board pack, Google Apps, Civic Rec, which is our software that we use, and things with that. Printing and advertising, we've held the line there. We feel that's adequate. We feel we can get the job done with that still. Our insurance, we were instructed to put a 15% increase in there, but I held the line. We have enough coverage there based upon the figures that they gave me, so I think we're good there. Utility services, we're holding the line on that. We're a little etchy on that right now because we're running city water at Central Park to irrigate because of the Buffalo Street construction. They have our irrigation shut off. We're trying to figure out what we need to do there, and we're going to drill a well, I think, and then put a well water in there instead of drawing from the lake. But we're trying to expedite that process and get that moved along. But until then, we've got to use city water to try to keep at least the flowers green down there. Some of the grass may turn brown, but we're trying to conserve because it's very expensive to water with city water. Repairs and maintenance. This is a 49% decrease for $84,300. Of course, this is just hitting some of our pest control or a contractual agreement for Central Park, our repairs to Central Park Plaza, miscellaneous truck repairs. Rentals, we kept that the same, $25,500. Other services and charges, we kept that the same as well. Our landfill, fireworks display, which we'll go through the Board of Works this Friday for, I guess we're going to have the 4th of July fireworks, so we'll have that. Education for our employees, and then, of course, our Homeland Security permits. And then, as you'll see in the recreation, we upped that to $85,000. It was $70,000. We've had discussions with the Lakes and Streams and the mayor about the park department becoming more involved with the Lakes Fest. We're looking at possibly moving the Lakes Fest and combining it with the blues that we have to try to draw some more crowd and interest in the blues, but yet also let the Lakes and Streams get back to the education part of Lakes and Streams and kind of let the park department take over the entertainment, as you would say. So we're looking at a full-day event on a Saturday there. We're still working on the process of that, but that's why that increase is in there. But overall, our increase is 0 in that category, so we've just moved some things around. So total other services and charges is $544,900. That's a 25.5% decrease. Machinery and equipment, capital outlays, we're going with our master plan there, a new pickup truck with a snowplow replacing a 2003. Cement mixer, that's something new that Sean would like to have. I mean, as we install these playgrounds and do things, I mean, we borrow the street departments, but it would be nice to have our own, and it comes in handy so many times. There's times where we can't get theirs because they're using it, and we just need one. Upgrade the Bobcat, normally this is $1,800. What we're trying to do this year is go to a track machine instead of a wheel machine. We ran into several instances last year. Kelly Park was a prime example where we couldn't work the ground out there because our wheel machine would just sink. If we had a track machine, we could have did a lot of work out there and been way ahead of the schedule on the playground equipment. We found this in several occasions. Your loads, spaced out over the ground more, and you just don't sink things. So once we get the upgrade, then it'll go back to roughly $2,500 for the trade-in yearly. So but that's the difference to get a track machine. Playground replacement at Buyer Park, that's in our 5-year master plan. And then, of course, the maintenance program for riding mowers and weed eaters and such. So a 0% increase, $134,900. Total capital outlays is $134,900. Our total proposed 2021 budget is $2,605,050, and that's a 4.5% decrease from last year's budget. So I've tried to hold the line. I know funds are going to be down this year. We've had some revenue loss. I'll just throw a couple numbers out at you. On our campgrounds, we've lost $6,850 in revenue due to refunds that we had to do at the beginning of the year. However, we've recouped and came back and got $39,150 in revenue from the campground since we were able to open it back up. So, but as far as building cancellations and things of that sort, we're down $6,242 that we've had to refund for people that had rentals that were canceled. So we've lost about $13,000 in revenue. But as we open things back up, I mean, Heather's getting calls daily, people wanting to rent it. So I think our revenue is going to come back as long as things pan out. And I think on the park side, we're doing pretty well.
There were two areas under the other services and charges that were down significantly. The section A was down, 57% or so?
Yes.
And then the other one that was down 49%. Is there something that we aren't doing this year that we did last year that I just missed?
Yeah, those were projects like the Indiana Street parking lot,
Okay.
the pavilion drawings, things of that sort.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I
big
just
ticket items that were in there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question, Larry, on the Right Stuff payroll system, does every department in the city have their own system?
We all have a system that works together, the whole city does, but this is our part of the,
And each other department has the same into their budget as well?
I don't know if it's the same fee, it's based upon how many occupants or how many employees you have, but yes, everybody contributes to it.
And that's something
Yes.
we've had for quite a while.
What have we had, 2 years now? 2 years, I believe, yeah.
I guess the question, why wouldn't that be in the clerk's budget?
I don't know, it's always been in each department budget.
Okay.
Yeah, so, we love it. The program is, I mean, there's been some hiccups in other departments with it, but as far as our department, I mean, it's made the transition as far as payroll on a Monday just as easy as look it over, approve it, and punch a button, and it's up to Connie. And,
Yeah, I'm not questioning.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good system. It
Yep.
just seems that something that would be part of the clerk's budget
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
the payroll, but,
Yeah, that's a good question, Larry. I don't know, but it's in each department's budget.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the 204 budget.
I move we approve the 204 budget.
Second?
Motion and second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, sir, good job.
Thank you.
And now, plan for reopening discussion.
I would like to start this out with a quote that Heather found in the National Recreation and Park Association. It says, "There's an old adage that absence makes the heart grow fonder. And sometimes it takes a global crisis like the coronavirus pandemic for people to truly appreciate the value of their parks and open spaces." I couldn't have said that better. I mean, that's quite the opening, and I think we as a community have experienced this. As calls that came in daily wanting to know when they can use the amenities of the park and when recreational programming will happen, and I mean, people when they're shut down, I mean, people aren't happy and they want to use your facilities and they want to get out in the parks, and I couldn't have said that better. I mean, I just had to steal that. I thought it was good. As far as opening, you know, we haven't had a meeting for a while, so I just thought I'd quickly go over this. Of course, our park office is open to the public with masks recommended. The parks and greenways have been open all this time with social distancing in place. Our beaches, playground and basketball courts finally opened last weekend. Tennis courts, pickleball courts are open with social distancing required. I will say on our beaches, we're kind of watching those as the weather gets to 90 degrees. We want to see what the social distancing will be. Over the weekend, it appeared to be good. Of course, it was only 70-some degrees, so when we get to 90, we'll see how it is, but that's something we want to closely watch. We're just trying to avoid the big conglomerate groups where people are right on top of each other. Campgrounds is operating. We have our seasonal campers in there, and we're opening it up for the daily, weekly, and monthly rentals on July 4th to the rest of the year. I think Ira only has, 4 or 5 spots that we're going to have that we'll be able to rent out for daily, weekly, or monthly. So that's going well. Shelter rental is available now at 50% capacity. And then again, we're trying to social distance people, so we're doing 20 to 25 people per shelter. Our rental buildings facilities will begin July 4th. That's our Nye Fireman's Pavilion, Amphitheater at Lucerne, and the Plaza. We're doing reduced occupancy to allow for social distancing. The Nye will be 40 people. The Fireman's will be 70. The Pavilion will be a capacity of 125, and the Amphitheater and Plaza will be 150. Disc golf has been open at Lucerne, and many are playing respecting the social distancing, so it's good to see people get out and enjoy that. We've had daily players from day one when the pandemic hit using it, and it's a good getaway. Higher Park BMX is open for practicing and local races with restrictions. This just started last week. Masks, social distancing, and no crowd during practice and limited crowd during racing is being implemented. Young Tiger football scheduled to start practice August 17th with in-house gameplay on September 12th. They've worked with the IHSAA, the Indiana Football Coaches Association, the Northern Indiana Football League for guidelines to follow, social distancing practices, masks worn by coaches and board members, only players allowed at the facility during practice, game day, in-house play limited to parents and siblings with social spacing practices. And again, this is all subject to, that we don't have another outbreak. I mean, this is the plan going forward, but if the numbers get bad, I mean, we may pull this back. And, this is something that the mayor and I have felt comfortable with. We've talked to Coach Bart Curtis at the high school, and he's on board with in-house play as opposed to traveling. Our reasoning there is we're not bringing people from other areas that, have higher outbreaks and higher risks than our area is so far. Bringing people down, eliminating the big crowds. We feel that, Coach Bart Curtis feels that the learning experience for the kids can still be the same as if we were traveling and playing in other places. So we'll still get Warsaw kids playing Warsaw Kids, mix it up, and, try to have fun with these kids and teach them some football and do it as safely as possible. I won't go into programming because I'm sure Sheila will do that. Let's see here. I will talk a little bit about our concerts, if you don't mind. We're going to try the Summer Series concert. We're going to set to begin July 10th at Central Park. That's going to be our first one. Sheila and I will be there for that. We'll look at the social distancing and try to police that and set the standard for the other ones and see how that goes. I'll let her talk more about that as I'm choking up here. Mana Skate Park, scheduled to open July 6th. Participants must bring their own helmet to participate. Participation will be limited to a safe number, and if there's more than the safe number, a rotation will be necessary. We'll rotate people in and out so everybody gets a chance to use the facility. So that covers about anything that I think we have. If anybody else has any questions, I just hope everyone practices social distancing and limits the number of people in gatherings and has a chance to enjoy, the park safely and then go by the parameters that have been set. So if there's any questions, I'll try to answer them for you.
I just have a couple beach questions.
Yes.
I think I heard we're not going to have lifeguards at all this year, is that correct?
That is correct. There's a couple of reasons behind that. One reason is we only had 1 or 2 applicants. Same thing as we had the problem with last year, just a lack of lifeguards. The second reasoning is by not opening until we thought, late in this year, by the time we would get the lifeguards, by the time we would get their uniforms, we'd only have them for about a month. And then they would go back to school. So we didn't feel that month was worthy of the cost associated to us and the training. A lot of it was if we could get them trained in time to actually be able to be on the beach. So we've put up swim at your own risk signs like we did last year and kind of police it during the day, but there will be no lifeguards at the beaches this year.
And are we going to put the buoys out? I've just noticed that people are venturing fairly far out, and both in Pike and Center, the deepest parts of the lakes are right up from the pier.
Yes, those are going to be put in tomorrow, Diane.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect, thanks. I was just a little
Yep.
concerned because I saw kids going out with floats, getting pretty far out. If something would happen, it would be very difficult to find them.
Yeah, we held off because we didn't want to invite people to go swimming.
Yeah.
And the guys that we normally have, normally have install them, been on vacation and they return tomorrow. So Sean and the guys are going to get those put in
Well,
tomorrow.
it'll be nice and warm for
So,
them to do it
yeah.
tomorrow, rather
Yeah.
than having to do it in 70-degree weather, so I
Yes.
totally understand. I just wanted to make sure we were gonna still put those out, because in both places, it's dangerous if kids get too
Yeah.
far out beyond the piers, so.
Yes, yeah. We're actually going to make it a little less out this year
Okay.
because we're going to come straight from the pier over as opposed to when we had diving boards, we went out 10 feet. Since we no longer have diving boards, we're going to bring it straight from the pier over and box it off. So, but they'll be in tomorrow. Yes.
That it?
That's it.
Okay, recreation programming changes.
I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you guys.
It has.
We saw you online.
Oh, yes, and you saw my face all the time on there. That's one of the things I want to talk to you about. So with this whole virus, we've had to completely reinvent our programming in the way we approach programming and events. So some of the things that we did from the beginning is we started reading books to the kids online. We started coming up with our Imagination Station program. We basically made it virtual, but it had to be stuff that they had the supplies to make to be able to follow along with us. I used my kids a lot in my videos. If you don't follow us on Facebook, you really should, because I let my kids do my makeup one day and I videoed it and put it on there. I let my kids decorate cupcakes. We made paintable sidewalk chalk. We made all kinds of messes in my house. So, but it was a lot of fun and they loved it. So we also used community members and sponsors of ours to read books, and generally they were about their profession. We had Via Credit Union, who's been a great sponsor and help to us. read a book with their piggy banks mascot. And we've had the fire department, we've had the police department reading books for us. So that's been great too. A lot of camaraderie I felt come together for during this time. When we returned to the office, we had to sit down and do a ton of brainstorming. Okay, how do we make this safe for these kids or patrons in general to be back in the building? Well, that's going to be really hard with kids. Do you make them wear masks? That's not a great idea, you know? So what we decided is that we will not be having any programming in the buildings themselves. Everything is virtual. So we are doing Cupcake Wars, which is where they will get a baked set of 6 cupcakes. They get all the icing, all the sprinkles, all the tips they need, and we're gonna have a contest. So they get like 3 days to decorate their cupcakes and post a picture, and then we'll have prizes that they can win for maybe the most creative, maybe the, you know, I don't know, whatever they're gonna be. We haven't figured out the groups yet, but that's something that we've almost got full. We're having Paint With Me, which is kind of like our Paint in the Park. They get all of the supplies in a take-home kit, and then there'll be a live video that they can actually log in and watch and paint along with the instructor as she's painting it. We're still going to do our Zoo Bash and our Dino Dig like we do most years, but it will be a take-home kit, and then there'll be a live video component. All of our paid programs have a live video component to them, where they will be able to interact with us and we'll be able to interact with them. The free programs also have video components to them, but they're not live. So they'll be pre-recorded, and then they'll be able to watch that video and follow along with whatever we're doing. And those are, we've got the fishing derby going on right now. We have collaborated with Winona Lake Parks, the Village at Winona, and downtown Warsaw to do a scavenger hunt. That is one of those that will be going on over the week of the 4th. We're doing fitness challenge and a know your nature challenge. So those are some of the things that we're doing that are free. Let's see, the events that we're going to do, we do plan, like Larry said, to have 6 of our Central Concert, Summer Concert Series concerts. We still are not doing the national concerts this year, so no rock, blues, or country. But we will be having 6 of those small ones as long as we can meet the social distancing guidelines and everyone is cooperative with that. We are planning to have a modified family carnival. So the family carnival has always had the big wheel race that goes along with it, but this year we're gonna make that the focal point of the event. So we will space those kids out every other lane this year. And I don't know if you've ever seen the big wheel race, but they have, the Optimus bring a ton of the big wheel scooters. And the kids get on those and they race to the other end of the parking lot, and it's fabulous to watch. And they have different prizes. In fact, I think their grand prizes are bikes, big bikes, little bikes, there's age groups. So I actually also have the monster screen coming, and we will be doing a movie night to go along with Family Carnival after the big wheel race, but I have Mason Geiger contracted to come and bring 2 cameras, so it will be like a live race on the big screen. So the parents that are there watching can actually watch it going on the big screen. I think it's gonna be kind of cool to make a big deal out of it. We're still gonna have the caricature artists, the balloon twisters, and the face painting, but instead of painting faces, they're going to paint an arm. Or they have glitter tattoos that they can put on the kids' arms. So, and there'll be a plexi screen between the kids and the painters so that we can keep that a little safer. Movie nights. We're still gonna have 3 movie nights. One will be with Family Carnival. The other 2 will just be our normal family movie nights in the park. Larry had the great idea to use turf paint and create kind of bubbles that they can stay within. So your family comes, you stay in your bubble will be 6 feet from somebody else's bubble, and as long as we keep them in those bubbles, you know, we'll be socially distanced. So that's our idea. Again, as long as that works for the first one, we'll continue to do those. It is gonna take the public's cooperation though. I think that's about all that we've been doing. Did I miss anything?
No, I'd just like to say the first day that they were actually handing out kits at the office, and they would have the people pull up and they would call a number, and Stephanie would run the supplies out to them. 54 times in the first day. That's how many times they
Yeah.
got supplies out to cars. So
Yeah. We gave
It was
54
good.
kits out last Monday, and then
Yeah.
yesterday we were at 60 something. I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly what she told me. That's for the Imagination Station program, which is completely free.
Yeah.
And then we also thought, okay, well, there might be some families who don't have the scissors, the glue, the markers that we're using also. So if they don't have those supplies, we have kits made up of those too, and we'll give those one per family so that they can have everything they need to do those programs with us.
And I'm not sure if you mentioned, for those that couldn't come to pick them up, we also delivered within Warsaw and Wayne Township, we delivered supplies to them.
Yes,
So they
for the
could
paid
participate.
programs.
Yes, for the
Yes.
paid programs,
Yep.
yes.
How about the Magic Tree House?
The what?
Magic Tree House.
Magic Treehouse books. I have been reading, since the week that we kind of saw that we were going to start shutting down. I started reading Magic Treehouse books. And if you're not familiar with the Magic Treehouse books, it's a lot of fun. The kids find this Magic Treehouse and they find all these books in it, and the books take them on adventures. So I started reading those. I'm on book 14. So I've been reading, they're 10 chapters apiece. So I read 2 chapters a day, and I'm on book 14 now. So we're on week 14 of reading these books. I hope that people are enjoying them. I'm really not getting a lot of feedback, but I was in drama in school, so I tend to be a little dramatic when I read them. And so if you need a good laugh, you could always log in and watch those. They're all on there. So, anything else? Any questions? No?
We're good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Maintenance report.
All right, well, we've been pretty busy since we last saw you guys. We were lucky enough during the stay-at-home order, we had a limited crew come in about every day. Larry and I were here about every day as well. There's always continued maintenance with trash pickup and mowing and weed eating and stuff like that. So we stayed busy with that, and then now we're in the summer season. We've continued with that, only on an expanded version. Plus, we've done several other things. I've listed off a few things here to go over real quick. Beginning of the season, we redid row E out at the campgrounds. Graded the whole thing, made it crowned so the water would drain out to the roads. Improved the sewer hookups and the parking pads in that row as well. After that, we prepped the whole campgrounds with the fire rings, tables, benches, installed the piers. We turned on the water in all the parks and restrooms. We rebuilt the whole inside and ram of our big garbage truck. It was rusting out from the inside and falling apart. We're lucky we have a mechanic that's a pretty talented welder, and he actually started during the pandemic while we were at home. He was one of our limited employees that came in. It's a pretty big project, but I think he probably saved us a lot of money in the long run getting that fixed. So that was kind of a big deal. We prepped and planted all the flower beds in the downtown area and in the parks. We have Marie back working with us this year, and she's really passionate about the flower beds, and I think you guys will notice a difference this year from past years. We installed split rail fencing. We did around the gravel parking lot at the sledding hill at Kelly Park. And then we also added some over at Kiwanis Park by the boat ramp. We've been getting more and more traffic parking actually in the grass area at Kiwanis Park. And we kind of wanted to try to deter that, so we put the split rail fence up along the road there. We installed the sidewalk on the north end of the amphitheater at Lucerne. And we finished the grade work and seeded the whole area. Grass is coming in nicely. I believe there's talks of a ribbon cutting sometime. It should be really beautiful by the time that comes around. We seeded the area out at the Kelly Sledding Hill. G&G added a little bit more to the hill. It was late fall, early winter. We were unable to get it seeded before it actually got cold and froze, so we did that this spring yet. Also, there was some drainage work around where the gravel parking lot was installed that needed seeded as well, so we got that done while we did the hill. We installed signage at all parks, playgrounds, courts, shelters, and other facilities about safe distancing, reminding people to try to keep the 6-foot distance and be safe. Made repairs on the overhang roof at the pavilion due to some water leaks. We noticed it last winter when we were hanging Christmas lights. There were a couple soft spots that felt like we were going to fall through, and turned out to be a little bigger areas than we anticipated, but we made those repairs in-house. We have a couple guys, carpenters, that are pretty talented at that as well, so we were lucky to get that wrapped up. We topped off the engineered wood fiber at Lucerne Park, at Byer Park, and McKinley Park. We still have a little bit more to do. I believe we're in the process of ordering that, so we'll have the rest of it all topped off this year. We started running our Barber surf rake daily on the beaches last week, trying to get them nice and groomed for the beach goers. We helped install the sculpture out front at City Hall, which was kind of a cool deal. We did our goose roundup. We only got 41 geese this year, and that was all we saw. There's several swans on Center Lake. I don't know if you guys have been around. I'm guessing upwards of 20. So I think that might be helping deter the geese from wanting to come live around here. And then we've started going through parks and filling and seeding low spots. We started out at Kelly Park. That was one thing Larry and I talked about that we wanted to try to focus on this year, was get the parks leveled out and not have any low spots or trip hazards. I think that's all I got.
All right, thank you. I would like to say, I think, speak for all of us, and we feel you guys have done a really, really great job under the circumstances, especially of keeping everything going well and taking care of the Parks Department. Done a great job. You too.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet. Other matters?
Yeah, I've got a few things. I've asked Michelle to serve on the Plan Commission as the Park Board representative, and she's graciously accepted that, and she'll be our representative on the Plan Commission. So, thank you, Michelle.
Thanks for asking, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And then Sean mentioned the ribbon cutting. The ribbon cutting for the Lucerne Amphitheater is planned for June 24th at 9 a.m. So I hope all of you can come out and be a part of that. We're anxious for people to use the new facility, starting July 4th, I believe. Then also, we received a grant from the Kosciuszko County Community Foundation in the amount of $3,000. It was by an anonymous donor for the work done by the recreation staff during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the maintenance staff for helping the new art sculpture being placed out here. The donor wants to remain anonymous, like I said, but wants us to use the funds however we wish to use them. And in Sean and I's discussion, we've had several trees that we've taken out lately, and we would like to take that money and use it for a tree replacement within the parks. So it was very nice to receive that. It was one of those things where we got a donation check, and Sheila says, this isn't my donation, or my grant, and
It was not a grant that we applied for, it was
Yes,
just
it
someone
wasn't.
who wanted
Yes.
us to be recognized in that way, so.
so we had to make a phone call and find out what it was about, or what we had to do to accept it, and there was no strings attached. It was a grant, and we can use it for whatever we want, and we'd like to use it for tree replacement. So that's about all I have, Steve.
Sounds good. Meeting review, budget for another year done. That's the big thing. Once again, I want to thank everybody for the jobs you've done. If nobody has anything else, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion adjourned. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good.
You guys have